First, and maybe most obviously, there are three great ideas that Jefferson had in the Declaration. It's a short document, only about 1,300 words, but there were three ideas that shocked the world when they were written. The idea that we have a right to govern ourselves, self-government, the rights that each of us has to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but the notion that we have inviolable rights that belong to us, that come from God and not from government. And third, that all of us is equal. Each of us is equal. Those three ideas shocked the world. Nobody in old Europe believed them. And they were really quite a threat to the existing order in Europe, weren't they? So those ideas I think of as kind of our nation's report card. How are we doing on them?
How do we make certain that this experiment succeeds? And you can't do it unless you learn what's in these two documents. There are two here. Declaration of Independence, Constitution of the United States. Why? Why, when Lincoln was elected and the country's on the brink of civil war, why does he decide to quote the Declaration of Independence? He does that because the Declaration of Independence has the words right there. This document, the Constitution, too, but the Declaration has more of them. What words? The words that we in this country have tried to live by for 250 years. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. It doesn't say that in the Constitution, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. You can't give those rights away. No, inalienable. That among them are life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. To preserve these rights. That's why, to preserve these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. There we are.
So to my mind, it's our report card, and it's always a work in progress. And the torch passes to every generation to make it a little more real, to make those promises something that everybody can experience. And not just us. I mean, Lincoln even wrote that the Declaration isn't just for America, it's for the world, isn't it, those ideas? And it's incredible how many countries around the world now have declarations that look quite a lot like our own. When Jefferson wrote them, there wasn't a democracy in the whole world. There are over 100 today. I think that has a lot to do with the ideas and the enduring legacy of the Declaration.
So the Constitution is practical. It asks the question, how do we take these basic values and make sure that they become part of the United States of America, including the government? Declaration of Independence is practical in that it gives reasons why we're leaving England, but it also is more a matter of theory. It is more a matter of rhetoric. It is more a matter of statement of ideals.
I think every American needs to know about the Declaration. But what they also need to know is that there's nothing inevitable about it. And I would just say, as we look through history, all of us, and we look around the world, it's very easy to focus on our own imperfections. And this country has lots of room for improvement. But we should also remember the incredible inheritance we've been given. We've been given this hope, this promise, this challenge to make those three ideas real, and the capacity to do so as citizens in a republic, not subjects of a king. And so I think the message I'd send is, if you want the ideas of the Declaration to live on, the torch is in your hands. It's in your hands. What's the Declaration's next chapter going to be? Lincoln wrote his. The women at Seneca Falls wrote theirs. Martin Luther King wrote his. What's your chapter? What's your generation's story of the Declaration going to be?
I say to the young people when I meet them, and I take out the Constitution, and they ask, what about this Constitution? I say, I'll tell you one thing about it. It is no longer mine. It is yours. And you are the ones who will have to decide whether it works or not. And it's always been an experiment. Abraham Lincoln thought it was an experiment. George Washington thought it was an experiment.
And the truth is, the whole thing is supposed to be hard, right? We are supposed to disagree in order to get all those good ideas to come to bear in the legislative process. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's supposed to be hard. Madison gave us 2 houses in Congress and a president that have to agree, right? And we can be dissatisfied and think it's slow and it's difficult, but that's part of the design. You have to compromise. I have to compromise. We have to work together, and we have to find a way forward together. And again, you look around the world and you look through history and you say, as imperfect as our system is, what would you trade it for?
That is what I want those school children to be thinking about. How do we do that? And that's a big job, and it needs teaching. It needs teaching government, civics, Constitution, Declaration of Independence in every school in America. And they have to participate. And they have to participate as part of the government, and they have to learn. Otherwise, how do we keep our democracy, our protection of basic rights, our rule of law, our efforts to maintain equality? How do we do that? That isn't something others can do for us. That's something that those kids right there have to do.